2020, which all Ghanaians need. The truth of the matter is that Ghanaians are yearning for a comeback.
Are they?
Of energy. Sure.
Are they?
Nana, you are one. You are one of them. But I'm not going to. I'm not going to. I'm not going to interrogate that. I'm not going to interrogate that. But I know a lot of people are so unhappy.
What makes them unhappy?
Because the reasons for which they gave their vote to the MPP, it is the opposite. Now Ghanaians feel that they have taken off a colored screen and replaced it with a black and white screen. That's the feeling. Whether it is matter of managing the economy, whether it is welfare issues, whether it is security, whether it is infrastructure, they are not seeing anything happening. Meanwhile, our debt portfolio keeps rising and rising and rising. So we are very much convinced that when it comes to issues of governance, the well-being of the people, the MPP has exposed themselves and they have failed. So our job is cut out for us. Reorganize your party, make sure that people in the party feel belong, are ready and energized to carry on with the assignment of party members.
Okay. Now you talk about people in the party feeling like they belong to the party. This was one of the major complaints ahead of the 2016 elections against the NDC, that you, the executives, were not caring enough. You sat at the top and felt that everything you were doing was okay with them, the rank and file. But they had their own challenges, they had their own needs, but you failed to listen to them. Have you been able to address that problem with your rank and file?
Sure, Nana, but to a large extent, I will agree with, because politics is also about perceptions and reality. Some of the issues that they raise may be genuine. Some may also just be isolated.
Which ones are the genuine ones? Would you say were the genuine ones?
But made to look like it's a national issue.
Which one?
No, I'm coming. I'll deal with all for you.
Okay.
There are issues of people complaining of, say, maybe neglect. No party will sit and program that we are programming to neglect our people. But I'm also not saying that you may not have instances where a member may feel having been neglected in times when he expected the party to stand for him or her. You will have such situations. But it's not like
those situations come to your attention.
Of course, some come to your attention later. Some may come even before you, and you think that it's been resolved by the officer who is supposed to resolve, only for you to realize that it's not been resolved. But the key problem is what our reorganization is trying to deal with now. That is the matter of our party membership that we conducted post the 2010 decision to do biometric registration, which was implemented. Many of our members felt left out of that process, and they not only were they left out, they also felt that people who should not find themselves got into the system, and so they who have been there were made to look like they don't belong, and people who didn't belong were given space to belong. And so
did you see that as a national organizer? Did you see any of that pan out, that people who did not belong were given priorities?
You wouldn't know at the time that it's happening, because
I'm sure you saw how your party or your candidate's office was busy giving V8 to people that the people on the ground didn't think belonged to the party.
I didn't see anybody being given V8. I wasn't even talking about that. I'm talking about the matter of our registration, where you go to, say, a branch, and you may have a branch executive. Someone is a branch chairman of the party,
right?
But then you produce a membership register that this branch chairman, who is overseeing your party affairs in that branch, name is not in. you produce a membership register where a constituency executive who is overseeing the constituency's name is not in the register in a polling station where he or she registered.
Okay.
That is what I'm concerned about.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But the issue of
were you also concerned about your party supporters saying that they were not feeling any love from the executives and the candidates of your party? Especially when at some point we had a Nigerian trying to tell us why candidate A is so important for the country and we should be voting for him. When people on the ground felt that they were being hard done by, they were not receiving anything from the party. They wanted motorbikes, they were not getting the motorbikes. Celebrities were getting V8 and money. Were you concerned as a national organizer when all of these came up in the media, for instance?
You are a celebrity.
I'm not.
You are, so I'm sure you may have to produce your V8.
I didn't get any from anybody.
So it means that it's just part of the information that people put out there to create.
Are you saying, Kofi Adams, are you saying for a fact that no celebrity received any package from your party ahead of the elections?
I am a national organizer and I also was the campaign coordinator. We did not set out there to give any celebrity any such logistic.
Did you sign on any celebrity?
Please, let me just finish.
Okay.
If anybody out of the great job the person is doing, somebody in the party found it necessary to give him or her such a facility, that would be a different matter. Okay. For example, not too long ago, I read in the media that one of your platforms, this Star, gave an artist a G.
Oh, it wasn't Star.
It was what?
Okay, Shatta Wale's G-Wagon.
Shatta Wale's G-Wagon. They gave Shatta Wale. You cannot say that, oh, because someone has found it necessary to do that for Shatta Wale, then it meant that maybe the institution as a whole sat and agreed
So did you sign on any celebrities to help you with your campaigning?
Celebrities were not signed on to help campaign. People volunteer. People had a belief in a candidate, John Dramani Mahama. And there were others who were already members of the party. And therefore, they thought that they were also doing their contribution to the party.
So they had no financial benefits. If they received any, it was from the gladness of the heart.
We had no such program. The presidential candidate and the then president never had any discussion or any budget that was allocating such things to anybody. They already.
So all the stories were propaganda.
I'm telling you that people, they accused all kinds of persons for receiving such things. And you know what happened? Sometimes you meet those persons that they accuse and say, you were the campaign coordinator. I've heard that I was entitled to a V8 or I was entitled to this, so you must produce it. Or you were supposed to give us so and so amount of money and we have no receiver, so you must produce it. It was all part of information that was put out there to create a certain imagery and to cause some apathy in our ranks and also give advantage to
Were you in favor of the work Dele Momodu was doing for your candidate?
I wasn't opposed to anybody contributing to our campaign, because campaigns can never be done by one person, and campaigns are never done by only party members. You need the involvement of others to give it a complete, to have a completeness in terms of your campaigning. So he coming in to also support from an angle is excellent. Sometimes, you know what I do to my friends? When I visit your home, I know there may be certain things that may not be right in your home. But because you live in it, you may not recognize it. It is my duty as a friend, when I visit once a while, to be able to point to you that you have not fixed this thing right. Or this picture you have placed on your wall is tilted. But you living there every day, you see, so you are used to it. So sometimes it's always good to bring someone who believes in your party or believes in your candidate from outside to come and give you outside perspectives.
I want to stay on that further, because just last week, Bolare interviewed Dele Momodu, and despite all the campaigning he did for President Mahama at the time, and despite all the vitriolic comments he passed against candidate Nana Akufo-Addo, he said on the show that he saw President Mahama's defeat coming, and goes on to say that Ghana is blessed to have Nana Addo as president.
First and foremost, Nana, but I didn't listen to the program.
Okay, I'm telling you what he said.
And I'm not in his mind to be able to interpret what he meant by that, if he says so. And you may be picking what he said out of context.
Unfortunately, I am not.
Well, because I'm not in his mind. So it will be better you get he himself to be able to explain.
I'm asking you because you were the campaign coordinator at the time.
But I'm coming. I'm going to answer. I don't know where Ghanaians are blessed. Whether the killings that are going on in even police stations, or courts, judges being chased by invisible forces, or the indiscipline happening everywhere, or the debt accumulation, or the congestion in our schools, or what were the fuel prices that have been increased over and above the price we were selling it for 14 cedi. They said it was too high. They will have to work on it and reduce. Today it is over 22 cedi. Or if it is water bills which have gone so high, if it is electricity bills that have gone so high, or if it is the one dam, one village that is not happening, that Ghanaians are blessed for, I do not know. I am never happy. But looking at it from knowing post the elections some of the plans that our opponent had in case they lost the elections, I say God loves Ghana for letting them win, so as they will be exposed that all they say is just talking, but then they cannot do.
All right. So Kofi Adams, you're a very interesting man. Anyway, but this blessing, you've called out a number of things that suggest that Ghana is not blessed to have
Ghana is
President Akufo-Addo.
Ghana is not blessed.
But this man was neck deep in your campaign.
And I'm saying that.
And he says that we are blessed to have Nana.
And I'm saying, maybe he's seeing the blessing from the angle I also saw it. That if he had not come today, me and you would not be sitting here doing this program. Maybe Ghana would have been in chaos as a result of a loss. Look at what happened in Kenya yesterday.
Yes.
Are you aware that
Odinga.
the man who contested an election and said certain things went wrong, so he went to the Supreme Court of that land, and the Supreme Court listened to his pleas and annulled the elections? It meant that that election was considered as having not been conducted. So go back and run a new election. A new election was run. Then along the line he said he wasn't going to take part. But because it was too late, his image will be on the ballot. So a few people voted for him. Uhuru Kenyatta wins that election with a landslide. He is sworn in by the right institution so designed by Kenyan constitution to be in. You know, the man has gone to organize a program that he's swearing himself in as president, just so to create a certain chaotic situation for that country. So maybe God knows why he didn't want Ghana to go through such things, and so he blessed us with this, only for us to see the truth.
Okay. Let's move on to the timeline for your elections. When are you going to the polls?
We have the branch level elections. We will have constituency, we will have regional and national congress. We have designed that this period is dedicated for registration. We hope to end this registration by 28th of February. Then we will now go back to our branches to audit the registration. When that is over, somewhere around 15th of March 2018, then we will start the preparation for branch elections, hopefully by end of March. Then in May, we will be having our constituency conferences. And then in July and August, we will have the WINCs and then the regional conferences. In September, we should have National Congress. Okay.
Now, so it's a National Congress that a lot of people have their eyes on. Because we've had a number of candidates come out to express their desire to run on the ticket of the NDC in the 2020 elections. We've had names like Sylvester Tete, Alban Bagbin, Honorable Alban Bagbin, Of course, President Mahama has not yet told us if he will be running, but of course there are suggestions that he may be staging a comeback. And then there is Dr. Kombo and another gentleman, I can't remember the name. So 5, you know, as far as I'm concerned. These 5 people have been sort of subtly campaigning here and there, granting interviews here and there. Some of them saying that President Mahama was an absolute disaster and that he coming back will be a complete disaster for the party. What are your thoughts on these men?
Nanaba, in the first place, the program for flag bearership hasn't even come up. That's why I said all those who are running around engaging party leadership on the reason that they want to be leaders of the party don't love this party, because the party has set out a program. All that I have told you does not include even flag bearership. We will have to elect national executives in September. Then that executive will come and establish a national executive committee and develop guidelines to govern the processes that will lead to the election of a flag bearer.
So they are putting the cart before the horse.
They are putting the cart before the horse. At the time we are supposed to be focusing on registration, empowering our people, motivating them, they are moving around, destroying fellow NDC members. And that's why I told our party people that any such person who comes before you doesn't love the party. He doesn't care about the situation the country finds itself today, that we need to get back quickly to better it. And I'm happy some of the constituency leaders have started taking them on. When they present their falsehood, when they present all their information, they take them on and tell them. There was one particular constituency in the Upper West region where after one of these hopefuls went there and said all the things that he wants to say, the man got up and said, the day we lost, they announced that the NDC have lost the elections, he was an unhappy person. But he has never been unhappy than the day that hopeful came there to address them in Fumsi, in the Wa East.
Which hopeful was this?
Now I don't want to mention the name, but they know themselves. The one who was just in Upper West, they know themselves, and our party people know that you will come to gather party people. Instead of motivating them, you are demotivating them. This was a chairman who had sold 2 of his cows to support the registration process. That's how deep people are doing to support the party. And you have persons who have benefited from the toils of all these members. Instead of them focusing their energy to motivate the people, what they do is to undermine others.
But don't
yes,
they know?
It is true.
Don't they know that the party has a calendar they need to follow? Or does it further suggest the divisions in your party then?
I don't really see it as division, but it is just their individual selfish desire that is put way and above that of the good of the party. That's the way I see it as national organizer. Because we have spoken, we have engaged them, we have asked them.
Oh, you have engaged them?
Of course, that even if you want to go out there and test the ground, testing the ground should not include and should never include undermining and running down another party person. But that's exactly what is happening.
Why would they do that despite all the meetings they've had with you?
You see, when you are good and strong, you don't undermine another person to shine. No, but you don't need to. You will never undermine anybody, whether in GH1 or all your platform, in order to be able to do what you do, because you know you are good at what you do. That if even you are shaken from another point, you can get up there and carry on. That's what happened to great persons. That's what happened to great players. A player may mix a penalty that would determine whether his team is moving forward or getting out of a competition. But that does not mean that that player is out. The fact that your best player mixes a penalty doesn't make that player the worst player. So the fact that John Dramani Mahama led the party and we lost an election doesn't make him all of a sudden the worst person. Players, great players have lost penalties. And you are a great fan of football. You are one female who is not a sports presenter, who does sports things. And you love football a lot. So you know this, that we have great players who have lost penalties that would have determined the fate of their teams. But it doesn't take away the fact that they are great players. They fill them in subsequent matches, or even sometimes another penalty comes, they still put them to play it and they score. So this analogy that he has lost an election, so that makes him bad, they should go and tell that to the Marines. They should stop that type of campaign. Let's encourage and motivate our people. We are doing a re-registration. There are challenges on the ground. Gather them and motivate them. Despite all those challenges, make sure that you do the best to resolve them. This is not a time to go and John Mahama has done this, and Asedun Ketia has done this, and Kofi Adams have done this, and this one have done this. It's not helping the party.
Okay. What would be your response to anyone, just before we go for a break, what would be your response to anyone who says that you speak this way because you are a fan of John Mahama?
You see, first and foremost, President Mahama has not given any declaration that he's going to run again. What motivates
publicly, but has he told you in confidence?
No, no, he hasn't told me. What motivates me is putting out the truth, nothing but the truth as it is. I will not sit down and say that, oh, even for my opponent, for most times, if it comes to my attention, I would not allow you to say something about my opponent that I am not sure is the truth, let alone within our party. So when I see people attempt to run down President Mahama just because we have lost an election, or because you want to also be the leader that he was, I have a responsibility as one of the leaders of the party that the party have so elected until such time when I cease to be one to position and put the truth out there. So I speak nothing but the truth, not because I am a fan of President Mahama. If it is Bagbin that was in the shoes of President Mahama, that anybody is doing that to him, I will speak the same that I'm speaking. If it is Professor Alabi that was in the shoes of President Mahama, that somebody is saying same about him, I'll speak the same way. If it's Sylvester Mensah that was our leader and people are saying things that are not true about him, I'll speak the same way. So it is not because it is President Mahama.
Okay.
It is because of a principled position that don't lie on somebody just so because you want to either be who he was, or you want to contest him if he says he will contest. That, I don't think that we should allow.
All right. On that note, let's take our first break. And water is life. Every day, an average adult naturally loses 2.5 to 3 liters of water. In order to help replenish your body, you need to drink quality hydrating fluids. When considering such fluids, choose Verna Natural Mineral Water, naturally made to quench your thirst. That's a state of affairs brought to you in association with Verna Natural Mineral Water. We're taking a break. We'll come back in a bit and talk to Kofi Adams, the national organizer of the NDC, about other things. Do stay with us.
Autistic children dreams come true during Verna Mineral Water rebranding launch.
Most of the times people ignore such kids and they tag them as evil kids or they are cursed and all that, but that's not true. Putting a smile on every child's face regardless of their condition is a major responsibility of our society, and I am pleased to be a part of this today.
In this life, the best thing you can do is to make someone else happy, or basically make people around you happy.
Drinking and buying Verna Mineral Water, you help many people out there, like our beautiful sisters over here, and all the many people that Verna Mineral Water helps.
Purchase a bottle of the all-new, sleek and stylish Verna Natural Mineral Water today and support a worthy cause. Verna Mineral Water, changing people's lives.
Revitalize your body with Master T. Reduces stress, improves your sleep.
Do you really want to keep your job?
I try, sir, but always wake up feeling very tired.
Don't you drink Master T?
Master T.
Master T is a food supplement formulated to improve sleep, reduce stress, relax muscles, invigorate the body for good health and vitality, giving you a fresh start for the day.
We love Master T.
Now available at all pharmacies, filling station shops and shopping centers nationwide. Contact Medimosis in Accra, Kumasi, Tema and Strazako. Master T, another quality product from Medimosis, not suitable for pregnant women and lactating mothers.
Master T invigorates the body for good health and vitality.
Nivea combines its unique hair with natural cocoa butter and vitamin E. For intensive nourishment that lasts all day. Glowing, radiant skin. Cocoa butter body lotion from Nivea. Now say goodbye to dry skin with great Nivea specials this Harmattan.
Welcome back to the show. This is State of Affairs brought to you by Verna Natural Mineral Water. I'm here in the studio with the national organizer of the NDC, Kofi Adams. Is Martin Amidu still a member of your party?
Yeah, we considered Martin a member of our party. And so when some of his utterances and actions were considered to be not too good, anti-party, some two members of good standing in our party petitioned National Executive Committee for disciplinary actions to be taken against him. We reviewed their petition and, considering him as a member, referred the matter to our disciplinary committee. So you could only take such an action against someone who is a member of the party. So that was what we thought. But his subsequent response to the committee, which they relayed to us, because the committee will have to be reporting from time to time as to what they are doing, gave indication that he himself did not consider himself subject to the party's disciplinary process. So by interpretation of some of our legal brains, it meant that he was abdicating his membership of the party. But insofar as that disciplinary process has not come to its end, and they haven't submitted a report to us, then we still consider him as a member who has misbehaved or have done something untoward towards the party and is going through a disciplinary process.
Okay. Now, when you say that some of his utterances were anti-party, what exactly do you mean? What is an anti-party comment?
For example, an anti-party comment is a comment that you know too well that you are putting out there, which is not true, but intended to embarrass either the party as a whole or any leader or a leader of the party or the executive structure of the party or such things, or even if what your actions also that you do undermines the unity and purpose of the party, it's considered as an anti-party behavior, or failing to abide by the directives, lawful directives of the party or decisions of Congress or NEC. It's considered as an anti-party behavior.
So, I mean, if I asked you to give me one example of any of these comments, would you remember?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
For example, Mr. Martin Amidu wrote an article suggesting or indicating that the NDC, as a government and party, appointed the chairperson of Electoral Commission so as to rig the 2016 elections for the party. To make such a comment that you know not to be true or we know it very well that not to be true. But it was what was his intention? The intention is to cast the image of the party in such a bad light, locally and internationally.
Right.
And so such a matter is not a matter that you just leave unattended. So he must come and prove. So if he has any evidence to that effect, where he needs to provide that evidence is before the disciplinary committee. But he has failed to appear before that committee to prove many other comments that he has made.
Okay, so what happens now that he's failed to appear despite the invitations that have gone out to him? What happens?
You see, per our constitutional arrangement, we don't direct what the disciplinary committee is supposed to do.
Okay.
So we await the disciplinary committee to bring their report. Then either the executive will accept their report wholly or accept part of it, or even review the report and then make a pronouncement after that. So
how soon are you expecting this report?
I don't think that he should travel more than a week or two.
Okay. What do you think about him as a special prosecutor?
I wish him well, but I know that Martin has been an attorney general before. Special prosecutor is just having some powers of an attorney general. That's why the attorney general that even that nominates for the president to appoint. So if you have held a full position before, and is it a subset that maybe you cannot hold? So in terms of he being a lawyer and being qualified, of course he is more than qualified to hold that position. Whether he will function effectively, whether he will be the acclaimed so-called citizen vigilante in this role, we are all going to be watching. He has been a fighter for that. He's against certain acts in this country. So we want to see how he carry on. If you are against something, what is most critical and important is to stop it from even further happening. Sometimes what has happened, and maybe the Attorney General, through her normal processes, can deal with what has happened if it is wrong. But your focus must be much more about how to stop what is going on now. So we'll see how he plays that role.
Did his appointment send any shockwaves across your party?
How? Already, Mr. Amidu in the party has been saying a number of things that which led to party members petitioning for him to be referred to the disciplinary committee. So, given this other appointment, is no different from what he has been saying already against the party. So it wasn't something that we were so disturbed. But some of us only needed to state the position clearly that this is who he has been. This is what has been his trajectory.
Is he a good man?
Is he
a good man?
Of course, there's no bad man.
There isn't?
No.
Really?
No.
There's no such thing as a bad man.
I don't believe that anybody really should be described as this is a bad man. Somebody can do something wrong and take the person on for the wrong that the person has done. That person can correct and move on. That's how I believe. There are many people who were tormenting Christians, were tormenting Christ and his disciples. Later on, they converted and they joined and they became key disciples. So I don't believe in bad man. But when you do something that is wrong, in this case like he has done, we will treat that, not the person. We take his actions and judge and deal with that.
Okay.
I don't believe in anybody.
I asked if there were any shockwaves in your party because when the announcement was made, people catalogued a number of officials in the Eswell administration that they think this man should go after. I mean, there's no point in mentioning names here.
But like I said earlier, do we need special prosecutor to go after anybody if the feeling is that the person has done any wrong? Look, the president of the republic was one time an attorney general. Didn't he prosecute people?
He did.
Look, let me list. He prosecuted Her Excellency Nana Konadu Agyeman Rawlings. He prosecuted Chachu Chikata. He prosecuted late Victor Selome. He prosecuted Sipayanki and Dr. Sipayanki, Alhaji Ibrahim Adam and all those other persons, Honorable Kwame Pepra and all. He prosecuted them. Did you have special prosecutor when he did that? So do we need special prosecutor if you think that anybody has done something? But the
Why
judgment
do I get
will
a feeling
determine.
you think that the special prosecutor's office is not necessary?
I'm not saying it's not necessary. What I'm saying is that people should not make it look like by just that office itself, so it means that people should start running for cover. It's just an authority of the Attorney General that has been given to the special prosecutor. His office will serve the country good if he can pursue the governing party persons especially, because the challenge has always been that the Attorney General, who is supposed to deal with the prosecutorial matters, finds himself or herself as being part of the appointees, because the Attorney General is also the Minister of Justice.
Right.
So if you take, for example, Madame Gloria Ekufu, who attends MPP conferences and congresses and rallies and cabinet with and they all dance together. The last time I saw her on her dancing skills, dancing together. Then the next time you think that she can easily pick her fellow minister or fellow colleague to be prosecuting, it may be difficult for her. Martin Namidu's job as special prosecutor will serve the country good if he can focus attention on checking what is happening now. Because that has always been the difficulty of an Attorney General and Minister of Justice. As for prosecuting your opponent, it's the easiest thing to do.
Okay. One of your colleagues said that his appointment was akin to holding a tiger by its tail.
Yeah, that is possibly his views. That for those who put him in there, and he knowing who Martin is, if you think that because he is making some comments against the NDC, so you are happy, and you thought that you are looking for somebody to go after his own, it's a lion that you are. That lion may turn also at you. And I listen to one person. Sometimes I don't really love to listen so much, but sometimes he makes sense.
Who?
The MP for Asen Central, Kennedy.
Honorable Kennedy Japan. He's a good friend of yours, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, of course. But sometimes he misbehaves, and he misbehaves even on set. I used to be on program with him on Adom TV.
He's an interesting man, isn't he?
Very interesting. He's an interesting character. He is. He's an interesting person.
And he makes a lot of sense most of the time, doesn't he?
I say he makes sense sometimes.
Sometimes, not
sometimes.
most of the time.
No, not most of the times. Most of the times I disagree with him. But some of the times I agree with him.
Right.
He also was admonishing the MPP people that Martin, that they are celebrating, they should watch out. They should watch out. He's an interesting person, and we need such persons in our body politic. Yeah, he easily warms across. You see him like that, backing, doing all the things that he's doing. He warms across. He warms across. But sometimes I disagree with his way of doing things. And sometimes he can make some wild allegation and deceive you that, oh, the documents are in the car. Go on break and I'll go and bring it. He knows it won't happen. The next time it won't be a matter that you follow up again.
Anyway, everyone likes Kennedy Japan. Anyway, now to other matters now. I mean, you have a plan. Your plan is to come back in 2020 with whichever candidate your party votes for. Now, I know you are going to catalogue a number of things you find wrong with the NPP's administration. But do you think realistically that Ghanaians are ready to have you back in power, despite all the challenges they had with you in power for 8 years?
You see, I will answer your question through this way by saying, are you suggesting that Ghanaians are willing to continue in a worsened situation that they have found themselves?
Which one is the worsened situation?
Well, you yourself even stated before asking me the question that I can catalogue a number of things.
Yeah, because that's what you do. You catalogue. You and your colleagues always catalogue. Yes.
Everybody wants well-being to be better.
Absolutely.
One of the key things you want is your security. You want to feel, if you decide to walk from your home to this place, you should be able to do so. If you decide to drive, you should be able to do so. If you decide to ride a bike, you should be able to do so.
But we are doing so.
Coming. Not everybody feels safe. A lot of people don't feel safe. A lot of people are going to work and they are afraid.
A lot of people.
A lot of people.
By your estimation.
Yeah, by your estimation.
9 out of 10?
Oh, it can be 9 out of 10 to be a lot. Even if it is 6 out of 10, it's a lot. Even if it is 4 out of 10, it's a lot.
But people have felt this way for a long time.
No. But
it didn't just start in January.
Not as bad as it has gone. For example, I just give you examples earlier. That if I sell a gallon of petrol to you at 14 cedi, having taken it from, say, 10 cedi in 2013, and it went all the way up to 14 cedi by 2016 for 4 years. And there was a campaign message that it was too expensive. And today, you are selling the same thing to me at over 22 cedi. You think that I should be happy? Is that what they voted for? If you told me that you were going to give me jobs, and then you come and the jobs you are giving me is sacking somebody who is there and replacing with another, is that what people voted for? Those you are sacking, are they not Ghanaians? If you tell me that you are coming to make sure that access rules and the rest will continue, and then you come and you've suspended all ongoing projects, you think that that's what they voted for? Health facilities that you have left standing, and you know what they do? They are happy at changing plaques. Ridge Hospital that has been commissioned by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, they quickly removed what President Mahama put there at a cost and then placed another one for the minister.
I honestly couldn't understand that.
You didn't do so.
Yeah.
That's all they go about. You think that Ghanaians, this is what they want, their security. So we are putting our party's house in order to make sure that we present ourselves and Ghanaians will necessarily bring us back to power.
In 2020.
In 2020.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Artistic children dreams come true during Verna Mineral Water rebranding launch.
Most of the times people ignore such kids and they tag them as evil kids or they are cursed and all that, but that's not true.
Putting a smile on every child's face, regardless of their condition, is a major responsibility of our society, and I am pleased to be a part of this today.
In this life, the best thing you can do is to make someone else happy, or basically make people around you happy.
Drinking and buying Verna Mineral Water, we help many people out there, like our beautiful sisters over here, and all the many people that Verna Mineral Water helps.
Here we go. Purchase a bottle of the all-new sleek and stylish Verna Natural Mineral Water today and support a worthy cause. Verna Mineral Water, changing people's lives.
The quest for quick money lands many young men in trouble, with spirits hunting them.
Since the day I brought that pot home, I don't feel free. People are hunting you. First will be a human being, second will be a different person. After the lion, you see fire burning. I don't sit down like this, see the things to roll in my face.
Others get duped along the way by people parading as spiritualists with the powers to double money and help them get rich.
He told me to give him 1,500, but he will help me to get triple or report. Actually, I'm okay with that.
The real psychics and spiritualists, however, believe greedy people are those that get duped because no one can be rich overnight.
Our people are greedy. If you are not greedy, no one is going to get you. If I can make you rich, why won't I make myself rich?
Join me, Alice Aite, on Tuesday, 6th February 2018, as I bring you the full report on the work of spiritualists and psychics and young people's quest for quick money as the Traditional Medicine Practice Council bans money doubling. GH1 News. News you can trust.
Welcome back to State of Affairs, brought to you in association with Verna Natural Mineral Water. Kofi Adams, the national organizer of the NDC, is my guest tonight. And Kofi, just before we wrap up, I know that your party was embarking on some walks here and there, meeting party supporters. How are your supporters taking it?
I think they are more than happy about it.
Are they?
Very, very happy.
Especially in the Volta region?
All parts
Across
of the country, yeah. And some where they haven't been able to stage such things, they are calling. But Volta region, because we recently went there for the 31st December anniversary, at least they've had a showing of party leadership there. So it's brought the demand for a walk down. But for regions that have not had such activity, they are still calling. And it's a good program.
Okay.
And I, as national organizer, have endorsed it. You know, because when we had our 25th anniversary, and we brought all the people who really mattered at the top to the Ashama Park, Mandela Park, we gave indication that we were going to show same strength in the regions. And we have not been able to do it until this idea of the Unity Walks came up. So even though it wasn't my initiative, as national organizer, I thought that it was something good.
Okay.
The first showing in Tamale was not, the attendance was great, but it was not well organized.
Right.
So subsequently, we met as party leadership together with the initiators of the ideas and then remodeled it, and it's been done so well. That's why I wasn't happy about Honorable Bagby when he goes about saying that this is an initiative of President John Dramani Mahama to do subtle campaign. Meanwhile, they held a meeting with us, and he brought this matter up, and we corrected him. I remember Ambassador Leokran even talking about how Western region organized their program, and how they have to even do a number of meetings with former President Mahama to get him to be able to feature.
Do you feel that some of these candidates have the impression that President Mahama, former President Mahama, is enjoying a certain attention from the people because of the position he occupies?
Nanaba, you, if you go, you appear somewhere at a function with, I don't want to mention another person there for the person to say that maybe I've belittled him or her.
Right.
It will be natural that you will get a lot more attention and people will rally around you than they will do for that person. They are not at the same level. That's a fact. They are not at the same level. So this is a president, a former head of state.
Right.
The levels are not the same, whether in the party or outside of the party. So anybody who is dreaming that they are the same, then should better remain in the sleep and continue the dream. Then don't wake up, because they are not the same. And that fact must dawn on anybody. That does not mean that if you want to contest, don't contest. But don't feel that all of a sudden you will be the same because you want to contest. Because the man is a former head of state.
Absolutely.
And that remains a fact. So you will not have equal treatment. In the same way, if you take out maybe His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, if you go to another level, Honorable Bagby and others, he's had a long experience in parliament and is a second deputy speaker. So he and others too may not be the same. So I'm shocked about this belief that the hopefuls think that they should be treated the same as that. That can't happen. Maybe when we have open nominations and they have collected their forms,
right,
that one you will all be vetted equally. You will be giving the delegate list. If each person is to address Congress for 10 minutes, you all address Congress for 10 minutes. Those are different things. But at this moment, for God's sake, they should stop being petty. It's pettiness. Or if I prefer using pettiness to maybe envy. That's a better accommodative word that united. Right. That they should stop being petty about we are this, we are that, no.
Okay. Now, in all of this reorganization and strategy, what role does Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings play?
Great. He plays a great role. He is the chairman of the Council of Elders. The Council of Elders were the very first group to move out under his auspices to make sure that they engage the party persons across to set the tone for this re-registration exercise.
Is he happy with the executives?
Is he happy with the executive? I can't answer that yes or no, but he's our founder, and the executives have also been elected.
Is he given that respect in the party as a founder? Is he given that respect? Is he acknowledged as the founder of the party?
Of course, we acknowledge him as the founder of the party. If talk about respect, I can't speak for everybody.
Do you see all your colleagues giving him that respect?
I wish that maybe we are able to do more than we are doing.
Right.
I wish that we could do more than we are doing. But then I also will wish that we can have our founder more with us than we are getting him.
Do you invite him? Do you make an effort to get him?
I will not give answers to all this.
All that I'm saying why not?
That, see, whether my belief
you are willing to answer questions about the NPP, but you don't want to answer questions about your own.
Nanaba,
yes.
My belief is that your son should not necessarily invite you before you show some love towards.
But if I come and I'm not treated well and I feel unwelcome, why would I come again?
It's still your son. You still have a responsibility to make sure that you go. The fact that maybe you may not know why your son behaved that way at the time you went as a mother, so you still have to go. I agree that yes, politics is not about child and father kind of thing, though. It's more about power, and so we must all appreciate how we manage the power such that everybody will feel at ease doing his or her best.
You are
still learning.
Okay. You are described as a Rawlings boy. You're one of his favorites.
Everybody in NDC is supposed to be Rawlings.
No, but you are very, very close to him. Is everything okay between him and former President Mahama?
You just saw pictures of them when they were in Liberia.
Is everything okay with them? Why are you dancing? I haven't seen any pictures.
You didn't see?
No. Is
everything is okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything is fine.
Everything is fine.
Okay.
Everything is very fine. There are times when maybe one may not be happy about the other one's action.
Sometimes you just don't feel like
talking. Sometimes you don't feel like. Sometimes you just don't feel like.
And
I want to encourage our people that when such things happen, they shouldn't extend it beyond the incident. They should say it like, it happens to all of us.
Yes.
Look, sometimes even your own wife that sometimes you stay on the same bed with. Sometimes you just feel like, oh, you want to be alone. You don't want to be bothered.
So is that what you do?
You look for some channel that they may not want to watch, and then you put it on that so that you can have your time.
Is that what you do?
Sometimes it happens.
Is that what you do?
I'm not saying that I do, but sometimes it happens.
Thank you very much, Kofi Adams, National Organizer of the NDC. Our guest tonight on State of Affairs, brought to you by Verna Natural Mineral Water. Pleasure coming your way tonight. Have a good night.
State of Affairs is proudly sponsored by Verna Natural Mineral Water. Verna, changing lives.
You see, the fact I'm a public figure doesn't mean that I should publicize my figures.
Okay, so you can just have sex with a man without getting emotionally attached?
Yes.
Is that Could it be that really? What's into no more?
I'm from home. And I wrap your heaven.
Into no fiber woman in answer your abende because eventually it will bow down to gravity. Yes, it the whole Ghana footballer will too was some way, Jan. We knew some one bene.
And question person Bisani say, Messi no Sutundu. Hey,
don't you feel, say, Bianca, you come separate ways now, we'll find another.
I don't want to marry again.
Okay.
Let me say, me, Kware no Bema, I come to me. Now I'm sorry, my quiet, Diane.
weekend na ma sesa na drop so ne ne ma na ma kosi. Hey, me grace obago
could be say what pedum basema ma fe. Watching ho akomu ama you're losing your mind. It could be that.
Mommy enti sada.
Into more than.
Eh, asem kesi ebe ni.
Fire, oh fire. For the best of gospel entertainment, information, and excitement.
Hey God's people, my name is Joe Metal and you're watching Footprint TV.